All right, so we're back again, and here we are. Uh, Similar to the last video, feeling good about the way that this build is going. Kind of had a little bit of inspiration based on from where we started to where we are now. I think it's time to make this gutsy move here to do a lofted surface from here to here, and I'm going to try to use Selection Manager here to select both bits of this curve, and so they should work. Come on. There's one, and come on, two. I'm trying to select both these, set them up as one, and it is not working. Okay, cool. So if it doesn't want to do that, then let's do this. Let's go lofted surface from here to here, and then we'll do guide curves 1 and 2. That'll at least work that way. Okay, so let's call that like that. Let's also do something else. Notice we went from here to here as the start and then the end. So we'll go start constraints, curvature to face. Good. End constraint, normal to profile. That's going to fail. Let's mess around with this arrow here to see if that helps. If it doesn't, let's just leave it alone. Okay. All right. Okay, so there's that like that. It's looking okay. There's some funky stuff happening in here. I didn't think we'd get so lucky as to be able to knock this thing out without a couple of profile curves along the way. So everywhere where you see like a pinch point or you see like an odd behavior in the surface is an area where a guide curve could come in handy. Let's keep going with this and just go ahead and see what we get if we go for the rest of the model. Okay, and that's not working at all. So let's try it again, and we're going to do what we did on the top. We'll go from this edge to this edge, and we'll use the 3D curves as guide curves. All right, this one seems a lot better. And so let's go ahead and set end constraints and start constraints. And because I'm using the loft tool, it's hard for the loft tool to gather enough information to perform a curvature to face command on the endpoints. So sometimes you have to switch it to tangency to face. That's not working either. That one is. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at these two together using our evaluation tools. Good, nice transition across that seam. All these little spots and tiger stripe type stuff in here, these are just areas where the computer is struggling to understand how to create the geometry, and it's parts where guide curves would come in handy. Okay, so I'm feeling like a guide curve in this area, another guide curve in this area up here on this top surface, one here, and probably one here as well. Okay, so I think a couple guide curves could help get these things figured out. All right, but in order to get there, we're going to need to delete what we just did. I also still would like to attempt to get this entire thing to run as one clean surface. Let's just really quickly try a couple of things. As I've mentioned in class a million times, guys, Advanced SolidWorks, it's all about experimentation, right? So I'm going to be experimenting here using the filled surface to fill in this gap. Will that work? It's thinking. It's thinking. What a great day today is. We'll use this as a guide curve. Is that going to break it or is that going to make it? It's going to kind of do a bunch of weird stuff. So hard to tell how helpful that move was. I think I know why, because you remember there's the goggles glass that's in here, and this guide curve would, I don't know, probably need to be tangent, or I'm not sure. Either way, let's set this to tangent on all edges. That's going to give you tangency on those edges there. Apply to all edges. This could break it. No, that works. Let's go to curvature and see if we can get curvature. Okay, curvature breaks. Instead of applying curvature to all edges, let's just apply it to the edges that matter right now. And that's going to be, let's see, you have to kind of cycle through them here to figure out which one's which. Okay, so that one needs to be curvature, and this one needs to be curvature. It looks like they're set. They're already set. You can see the designation up here. So I think we're good to go, and I'm not getting a preview. Let's hit the Fix Up Boundary button and see what that does. The fact that I'm not getting a preview means maybe taking out this constraint curve is going to be the best move. Yeah, looks like it is. Okay, so we're going to let the computer do the work for us because this surface here looks super duper slick, and even though it's not following along with this guide curve here, I think it looks better than what I was thinking with the guide curve, so I'm going to call it. Yeah, that looks nice. Let's hide our reference geometry, and phew, I'm happy with that. Let's delete this nasty guide curve. There's no need for that. Oh wait, does that break everything? No. Yes? I don't know. Yeah. Alright, very clean surface here. Super duper happy with that. Time to save our work. And voila. Okay. Hopefully you've got a scenario going where you got this sort of thing happening. I've got some drama over here in my design tree with some of my surface extrudes and so on are showing up as the mustard yellow. That means that they have broken sketch relations. So the way to figure those out is to edit the individual curves that have broken sketch relations. You'll see right away where they are. You can delete them and the color will go away. That one's fixed. Let's go to this one and edit this one. There you go. See, that same mustard yellow kind of brown color shows up on everywhere where there's broken sketch relations. And we'll just continue to kind of cycle through here. Dun, 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 dun. Keeping our model clean. But you know, at this point, I'm doing a lot of experimentation on this model. And so what's going on here is I'm getting a lot of kind of clutter in my design tree from different maneuvers that I attempted that didn't work out. Like here's a good example right here. This profile curve to make my 3D curve for the bottom 3D curve was built around some previous 3D curves that I had done that are no longer in play. So I'm going to need to do a little bit of yard work as far as my design tree is concerned. And first step is going to be to get rid of all these broken sketch relations and get the color out of my tree. And then I'm going to have to go cycle through and figure out where's all the hidden stuff that I'm not using anymore and delete that out. And be ready for the fact that maybe it's going to cause me some drama that's going to affect this here. But the good news is now that I know that this can work, where I can get one continuous 3D curve all the way around the perimeter of the goggles and then use my surface fill to get a nice clean surface to fill that in. I feel like even if I have to rebuild this now, I know exactly what I'm going to do to rebuild it, and it's just going to get better and better every time I do that. So feeling good. Let's take a look here up at the top of our design tree and just kind of remind ourselves what we've got. There you go. Right, so there we go. So it's coming along, right? A lot of work to get to this point, a lot of work to go, but the good news is that it's looking really good, and I'm really happy to move forward from this point on. Okay, so let's keep going. Check out the next video where I'm probably going to start the next video with the clutter removed from my design tree. And so I'd like to encourage you to also do the same. Let's get, since we're having success with this new method on this model, let's get our design tree cleaned up as much as possible so that we can move forward knowing that we don't have any anything in our design tree that's not doing something, okay? I'm probably not going to record that bit. So in the next video, we're going to start to build some of the underside surfaces off this thing and really start to turn this thing into a 3D object as opposed to just a set of surfaces. Okay. All right. Good news. Thanks a lot for watching.